Alright, today what I'm working on is a fan shroud, and there's a couple of issues going on that I have to work out. Now, because I had to offset the motor to the left a little bit inside the frame for clearance, you know, I had to move the motor over for clearance for the oil filter to come off inside the frame here. I mean, there were, had I put a remote oil filter, then I could have centered it, and then it would eliminate all these minor problems I'm having now. But anyways, I didn't. Oil filter's there. The motor is offset a little bit. So consequently what happens is the fan is further to the outside of the radiator than the other side, because the whole motor's this way. Now, it was a lot more off. See, here's the edge of the radiator, and I already trimmed the fan blades about an inch off. They were actually out about here, so I trimmed them so they'd be just about flush with the radiator. Now, I replaced the fan clutch. The other one was shot, and the replacement, luckily, was a little bit longer than the original one, so I'd moved the fan closer, which is good, because what was happening in traffic, slow traffic, I was getting up, you know, in temperature, 210, 220, and that's a little bit hot for what I like to see. So I decided to build some kind of shroud around here so that the fan is not pulling air this way, it's pulling more directly through the radiator. So that's what I got right here. This piece here fits around the radiator. Now this side here, because the motor's offset, and if you step on the gas, the motor's going to torque over a little bit. I got to get a little bit more clearance on this side. So what I did is I'm rolling a piece of sheet metal for a radius. Then I'm going to mount to this side for clearance this way. So it'll kind of be, so it's going to be kind of like, it'll come like that and then come back around, and then I'm going to have it go straight down. Alright, you see what I got here? I'll probably bend it somewhere around here to come back to be parallel with that side. But this radius here is not perfect yet. I'll bend it to fit, you know, a little bit larger radius fan, so I'll have, you know, maybe 3/4 of an inch of room between this piece and the tips of the fan. Now I welded a couple of pieces of angle iron on that side and one on that side. They're different lengths because the tabs on the radiator that's where they're going to bolt to. I got this one here, so that piece of angle is going to come out through here, and then I'm going to put a couple of bolts this way, small bolts, and then down on the bottom, and then on the other side and the top and the bottom. That's how the shroud is going to mount to the radiator. Hold on, I'll show you what it looks like so far. There. Now it's in place, and what I'm going to do is right here, the second piece that has the radius will come back here, along here, curve out around the fan blade to give it a little bit more clearance, and then come back in and then straight down, and then mount to the bottom piece here. Alright, now the other side, I'll show you that. The other side looks like this. It's got the little piece of angle iron is welded there, and then I'm just going to drill through here into screws down there and the two other points over there. So that way there, this is going to block air from being, you know, pulled in this way. The fan is only going to be pulling from the radiator, I'm hoping. Now I don't think I don't think I'm going to block this way. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see how well it cools. If it doesn't cool well enough, then I may have to block and just have an opening a little bit bigger than the fan to make it a more efficient. But I'm thinking if I block this, I don't know whether that's going to actually slow down air coming in from the other side of the radiator here. I really don't know yet. But what I can do is I can put a plate on this side. This is just 16 gauge, and then cut a hole that's a little bit bigger than the diameter of the fan, and then it'll actually, you know what I mean, pull better through there. So I don't know. Right now I'm just going to leave it just like a piece coming back on both sides, and we'll try that. Plus this would be nice too, because before I was worried about, you know, cutting your fingers or getting hurt with an open fan sitting right there. So that's what we're doing today, boys and girls. Franky is still, this is, I guess, debugging. Major debugging. No, Franky won't start. The carburetor was, the rear float bowl was draining down into the carburetor, and that turned out to be a power valve that was leaking, so I replaced the power valve, started the car up. It stalled. I let the clutch up too quick and it stalled, and it never restarted. So I don't know whether I don't know whether the electronic ignition died, or the old coil and condenser that was on there, the original 1969, is no good no more. So I got that issue to deal with too. Today's Monday, and on this weekend, Friday and Saturday, there's a big car show that I want to go to. So I'm kind of under the gun here to get a few things done. Today I got the day off. I'm hoping to get a bunch of stuff done today. I got a new coil and a new electronic ignition on order, and hopefully that's going to be here tomorrow. I will get that in tomorrow night, and hopefully that's the problem and it'll start up, and I won't have to worry about that anymore. I'll just work on all the other bugs that I got to get out of it. The back tires died. Hold on, I'll show you. This is the big tire that I had on the back, the N50. Well, they are kind of old, and I think you can see it. See how here's the tread, and it's got this big bubble right there, and it goes down flat again. It's nice and flat. As you roll it forward, see it raises up. Well, I was driving down the road and I could feel this vibration, and I kind of knew what was going on. These being old tires, the insides are letting go. Luckily it didn't have a blowout, because I would have been stuck in the side of the road. But got me home, and I ended up putting on some little skinny tires on the back. Those aren't much better. I was looking at those, and those got some dry rot cracks too, so I got to get some decent tires for the back of this thing. One step forward, two steps back. Okay, I wanted to show you the tires, and I wanted to show you the fan shroud I'm working on. That's what's on the agenda today. Thanks for watching. Cool. Now, I don't have a brake, so a lot of times this is how I bend sheet metal. You get two pieces of angle iron, clamp them together in a vise, clamp the piece you want bent, and now you can put another C-clamp here to hold this end tight, and then you just bend it, hammer it, and get a 90 if you want, you know, because you got the angle iron to go by. But you can see how I got this piece up here. This has got to be straightened. It's a little crooked, but that's how it's going to come down, and then it's going to come out around the fan and then back down again. And then I'll just trim down here for the bottom of the shroud on the passenger side. And then I'll just weld this in here, and then I'll put another piece here to block any air. So, because the radiator is going to be here, so I got to block this off. Just get another piece of this sheet metal, lay it on here, weld it, done. So that's how I formed that. I just bent, actually I bent this around the air compressor tank just to get a radius. And then I just modified it by, you know, bending it by hand a little bit tighter or looser, whatever I wanted to make it fit. So that's how I did that. Now I'm going to trim this side, weld this to the rest of the shroud, and we'll see how it fits. We'll do a trial fitting. Cool. Okay, now I got the slight radius welded on, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace in here. I got another piece of sheet metal up again. This is a piece that's going to block off the air from coming in through around the radiator, because the edge of the radiator is going to be right along that edge there, and I don't want anything to come around through here. So what I'm going to do is I'll take a Sharpie and I'll just trace right along in here. Okay. And I'll take this out. And there's the piece that has to be, I'll just cut it now. I'll cut it along here with the wheelie cutter. Take that piece, put it on there, weld that in, and that'll block that. Next I'll have to, I gotta make the lower mounts for each side. Drill and tap them so they'll stay in place, and then finish grinding it, primer and paint, and it should be done. Cool. Okay, there it is. There's the piece to allow the fan to come get a little clearance on the passenger side. Here's the plate that I cut out and welded in. That'll keep air from rushing this way, so it has to come through the radiator core. And I just got to weld on the mounting tabs on the four corners down there. Let me show you what it looks like on the car. Got the slight radius here for the fan. Be a couple of mounting screws there. I can always extend this little piece of angle over to here and put a screw further in. I'll probably end up doing that. But when this is up flush, a little bit of warpage right there. You see the sunlight right through there? I don't think that's going to be a problem. But what I can do is that piece that I welded on there, I can bend it out so it'll seal that up. So that's not a problem either. But that's kind of what it's going to look like. That's my and it'll protect, you know, keep your hands from getting hit by the fan, which is always a good thing, huh? I think that'll work out good. Alright. Let me weld on a few more mounting tabs and see what it looks like. Cool. Well, there it is. Not too bad. I think it'll do the job. I did make the curve come out just a little bit too much though. It comes out past the edge of the radiator shell, so I can't put a side apron on. But let me try it. I'll put it on the car. Yeah. Okay. See what I mean by right here? If I wanted to put a side, I was thinking of putting a side apron on here, See how it comes out just a little bit past it? And it really didn't have to, because there's probably, I don't know if you can see it, but there's about, because I can get 2 fingers in between the fan and that edge. 2 fingers in there, so there's plenty of room. That could have gone in that ½ an inch and done that, but that's okay. That's okay. It just sticks out a little bit, but that's all right. And this is this side. And that's that. Now I won't get any air disturbance or loss from the fan on the outside edge, because whatever the fan pulls is going to pull right through the radiator because of these side pieces. Plus, I like the idea. I was always worried about getting my fingers whacked by that fan blade. You know? Now this winter, what I want to do, a friend of mine has a same radiator, and his rod supports, he doesn't have this heavy piece on his rod supports are right to the aluminum piece that's welded here. It goes up, it's like an angle, and his rod supports with that, and that vibration cracked right across here, broke it off. So I'm going to bring it over this winter, take it off, and I'm going to have him weld some aluminum gussets under that. And maybe a piece, something on the side here too, so these won't break. Just kind of support them a little bit up too. All right, so we got that. Tomorrow we should have the new ignition and coil. We'll put that in. The coil goes right here. I got these little wires for the igniter. I'll change the coil first and see if I get any spark. If that doesn't help, well then I'll change the igniter too. Oh, awesome. Got a little bit done today. It's hot. It's hot in the sun out here. Alright. Cool. Oh, Franky. Still working on him. Still getting the bugs out. Awesome. Cool.